Hey everybody, Caleb Dennison with Digital Trends. This is CES 2019, and as always, we start with a private viewing at LG's Mandalay Bay Suite, where we get to see the coolest TVs that they're releasing this year. We have a lot to cover right now, starting with, right behind me, the 88-inch 8K OLED television. Now, we saw a prototype of this at IFA in Berlin, so maybe you've heard about such a thing, but this is the first time that the final version has been viewed. And as you can see, there's a lot to the design of the TV. Now we've got a really nice and trim bezel going all the way around, which you would expect. Down below, this is not just decorative. This is an integrated part of the television. And in fact, the sound gets pumped out of the bottom right out here towards the viewer. It's absolutely massive. I mean, you can tell me standing next to it, it is a huge display. And that's really where 8K value comes in. The bigger the display, the more you want that tight pixel density. You can sit close to it and you don't see any pixels. I don't see any pixels standing right here. And that's really quite amazing. So even though our TVs are getting bigger in our homes, it's not as if we're pulling back and sitting further away from them. We're sitting at the same distance, right? So that's why we like to see 8K resolution in these really big displays. Of course, it's an OLED. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got deep, deep blacks, wonderful color mapping on this television. A lot of what's special about this TV, though, is something that you can't see. So you're gonna see across LG's lines of televisions, we're gonna see a few different important features. One of them is HDMI 2.1, and we're talking about the full spec of HDMI 2.1. What does that mean? It means up to 48 gigabits per second of data. It means that you get variable refresh rate, you get high refresh rate, so you can go up to 120 hertz on an 8K TV. It'll also adjust. Gamers are gonna love this. So depending on the demands of your Xbox One X or your PC, it can actually change the refresh rate to meet the demands of the game. It also means that you get eARC or eARC, which means that full uncompressed Dolby Atmos can be passed back to your soundbar or your receiver. Now, of course, we don't have any idea what this TV is going to cost. It's gonna be a lot. It's a super premium TV, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really excited about what LG has brought. What you're looking at right now is a 75-inch LED, LCD, 8K television. So if you don't want to go 88 inches, you don't want to go OLED, there is an option for a 75-inch 8K TV. Now, what's notable here is that LG is using its IPS panel with nanocell technology. They ditched the Super UHD name, they're going with nanocell TV right now. Nanocell is basically a layer that corrects color, and it actually improves black levels for IPS panels. So even though you get that super wide viewing angle, you're not necessarily giving up on good black levels for that. And we've got really great color accuracy going on right here. Now, earlier, we talked about HDMI 2.1 and the variable refresh rate, the high refresh rate, and the eARC that comes along with that spec. What's also notable about this TV is that LG is in its second generation of its Alpha 9 processor. So it's using artificial intelligence to correct the color and the brightness by looking at a database of images. So when it has to upscale 4K content, because that's what we've got right now, there's no 8K content out there short of a few YouTube options right now. So 4K upscaling to 8K is super, super important. LG is using AI to make that happen. They're using a database of images to kind of look back and say, oh, I recognize this thing, it's a leaf or it's a flower. I'm going to go ahead and fill in all those extra pixels with some intelligence. The AI goes a little bit further this year. It's also going to adapt the brightness based on your room brightness. So that's not really new. We've seen a lot of TVs since the 60s that take a read of the room. They know it's bright, so it brightens up the image. This is a little bit different. It's actually changing the HDR curve to optimize your viewing experience based on what's happening in here. And Dolby Vision has a version of that as well built into this TV. So whether you're watching standard HDR content or Dolby Vision content, it's going to look its best, they say, based on how bright your room is. So whether it's super dark or you got a bunch of sunlight coming into the room, it's going to adjust things so that you still get those really awesome specular highlights and that the black stuff still looks black even though you've got a super bright room. As if all of that wasn't enough, there's one more really cool feature that's being rolled out with a bunch of LG's TVs in 2019, and that is WiSA capability. This is a wireless audio standard that Bang & Olufsen has been rolling out for a couple of years now, but let's face it, Bang & Olufsen is kind of a niche premium audio company. The fact that LG is rolling this into its TVs is a huge boon to WISA. What is WISA? Well, basically, it can send a wireless 5.1 audio signal to fully wireless speakers. Yeah, you still got to plug them into the wall to give them power, but there's no speaker wires to run around. And it's an extremely smooth experience. It could put an end to AV receivers, to be honest with you, because it's so much more convenient. That's a lot. LG brought a lot to CES this year, and we're not even done. There's a new wallpaper OLED, there's a new ultra short throw projector, they've got new sound bars. We're gonna be covering all of that here at CES 2019. So visit back to Digital Trends, visit often, because we're gonna have a lot to share with you from LG and everyone else here at CES 2019.